Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It's July 16th, and I'm Rachel. I'm gardening for butterflies and for myself on the Alabama Gulf Coast in Zone 9A. Today it is 82 degrees. It's supposed to get up to 91, and we're about to have some rain, which I'm thankful for because it has rained, well, a lot this week. I haven't had to run the sprinklers at all, but I've also not been able to get out in the garden. So I'm just going to show you what a garden looks like when you haven't done a single thing to it in a couple of weeks. And yesterday I released a giant swallowtail butterfly, but also I found one. I don't know if it was hurt, but yesterday I found one on the ground and I picked it up and I got to hold it in my hand for a few seconds, and I got to video that, so you'll get to see how big they are. It's really cool. And I've got a new plant that's growing that I'm excited about showing you that I didn't plant. It just showed up. So come along with me. I've not done a thing in the garden at all. Not a thing. So it's a little, this is just it being wild. This is just showing the wildness of it. My husband came and ran the lawnmower just slightly right here in front, but the weeds are growing up around the pots. And then some more of those caterpillars are on the blue bonnets. I was going to show y'all. There they are. So that's happening. Apparently they do like to snack on those things. They must be. But I wanted to show you what's super cool that's growing in the bog garden, because it was something that I didn't know what it was last week, and I looked it up, and it just showed up in the bog garden, and it's an interesting and really good plant. Look how tall the Tithonia is with the orange flowers. It's almost as tall as the orange tree. That is just incredible. It loves living there. But here's the bog garden. We're going to show you. I'm going to show you the cool thing that showed up. It's this plant right there. This is a wing leaf primrose, and it looks like I have several of them growing, and that something has been snacking on them, and it can be a larval host plant for some kind of moth. They are larval host plants for banded sphinx moth caterpillars. So I could have had some of those, and I guess maybe some wasps came along and ate them, because it does look like they have been snacked on, and there's even still poop on some of the leaves, but I don't see any sign of caterpillars to life. I mean, I see sign, but I don't see caterpillars. But yeah, the bog garden is just turning into such a delight. It's look at these things. Is that not fun? Those are cool. They have grown so well, and I have one in a pot right here. I still have to plant it, but they're just so cute. I think they're pincushion something. And here's one of my pitcher plants. But bog gardening has been like such an adventure. There's always some kind of weird something going on over here. And I have another surprise plant that I don't know what it is. Look at this. I'll have to tell y'all next week when I find out what it is. See that little yellow flower? So, but this right here is a obedient plant. It just hasn't bloomed yet. And hopefully it'll have purple flowers. But there are a lot of really cool things growing in here that I did plant, and they kind of died back. This I planted. It's got yellow flowers on it whenever that blooms. And then this thing right here in the fall, it will actually turn color. So we'll know that it's fall when this thing starts to turn colors. And then this, of course, this sticky sundew plant, it also looked like it was not going to make it. And now look at it. It's so full of sundews, little stickinesses. We'll see. Oh, you see right there? The Venus flytrap looks like it has something growing up, and yeah, I think that's some more. Maybe that'll end up being a flower. I'm not sure, but it's making it. But this is just the kind of area that when I was a kid, I could have spent hours just crouched over it, just watching things happen. And I wish I had more time to just spy out everything that's going on here, because this is just a hive of activity. I have two little flowers on the dahlias. Aren't those colors pretty? I don't know if they're going to get any bigger than that. This might be the biggest they get, but that's lovely. So this pot, I think, has 3 or 4 different kinds of dahlias in it. And these are the only ones that have not rotted. You know, we've actually had just a lot of rain. So yeah, I'm down to 5 pots of dahlias that I planted late. Over here, things have not been dug up. I see where armadillos make little trails in the grass into my garden, but they haven't been over here lately, which I'm very thankful for. My friend Joe from Joe's Texas Garden told me to take the cuttings from the lemon sedum and just throw them out and just let them just take root and grow. And so I did that. And over in the area where I did that, you know, they started growing, and they were being dug up by the armadillos. So I got the ones that had turned into little plants, and I have put them all along the stones here in the front of this bed, and I'm hoping that being close to the rocks will save them from the armadillos. And won't it be cool to just have them growing like all along in front of these rocks? They really love living here. They do. So, and once you have one, you can have a bunch, because look how happy that thing is. And I just tucked it in there. You may not even be able to see the caterpillar right there in the center of this video. And I guess I'm gonna have to bring one of these in to see what happens to it. I hope the ants aren't getting it, because there are ants all over this flower. But let me see if I can touch it so you can see where it is. It's right there. Him's got all those little things on him to camouflage him, and he's really blending in well, isn't he? Look at this bee enjoying the coral nymph salvia. It's just so funny when they get up in there. They're so big, sometimes they just fall off because the flower can't hold the weight of them. I mean, because look how big that bee is compared to the flower. Just coral nymph salvia is just so pretty. Oh yeah, this garden is wild. Wild, wild, wild. I was going to look at what I had videoed last year at this time, because really this is kind of like a visual journal. I mean, I don't want to sit and write down stuff about the garden. I just want to remember it living and breathing. And so me videoing this every Sunday is a way for me to actually gauge what happened at what time and what I was doing, and what worked and what didn't, and what liked living here and what didn't like living here, and to remind myself what was going on. It's really a joy to get to see, you know, week to week how much things grow, and from year to year. So even if you don't want to post your video online, I would really recommend that you go outside and video your garden so you can see from week to week what is happening, how crazy things can grow so fast. This is that garden in a pot that got overgrown, and I cut everything back, and now it's just bouncing back, looking so good. Even right here, look, I'm getting a new flush of growth on my agastache, and I love the smell of it. But I thought that was just going to be done. When I cut it back, I was just like, wow, it's over. But this passion flower vine is growing from that pot, and it's grown all across there and up onto the roof. It hasn't flowered yet this year, but look, here is a bud. so hopefully it'll start blooming again. My view from the kitchen window has gotten more and more bedraggled and kind of obscured because this Salvia leucantha has grown super tall now. This, when I originally planted it here, I put 5 Salvia leucantha in this tiny little spot right here. That was dumb. I knew how big they would grow, but I just wanted this space to be filled, and oh, of course it did. It did fill it. This Penta, and then Morning Glory, and then Vinca, so pretty together, so lovely. But yeah, I'm not even being stressed out about this. You might think that I'll be like, oh, I got a weed, I got to cut back, but this is really actually a lot of fun. Oh, let me show y'all this. I've got a lot of frog fruit growing. This is a larval host plant to, I think, the Buckeye butterfly. And you know, I never get down here close to see if I can even find any of the caterpillars. So I have so much of it. Surely I'm getting some. Oh dear, look at this. I think I need to do something with this. This is lemon verbena, and it looks like that's not good. I don't know what has happened. Here's that little banana scented rose. It has been blooming and blooming. It's so little and cute and mostly healthy. I see there's a little bit of black spot on it, but I don't know if this is a climber or just a bush. I got this rose at Kim's nursery. I need to look up and find out more about it because I am really liking it. I just found an interesting caterpillar on this hyacinth bean vine. It had made a little thing so it could be private. There it is. Not sure what that is. I thought maybe this was a caterpillar also, but no, look, it's a spider. How cool is that? It's got its own little private place, and it looks like it has, let's zoom in. It looks like it's got an egg sac in there. Dang it, why will it not? There. All right, Google seems to think that this caterpillar could be a long-tailed skipper caterpillar, and I've found it on my hyacinth bean vine plant. So if that is the case, yay. I haven't checked out the view from the guest bedroom window in a while. So this is kind of what you would see if you were looking out the window. Do you hear the cicadas? It's going to be a scorcher. I think you're supposed to do some sort of math about how much they, maybe it's the intervals between them being really loud, and it'll tell you how hot it is or it's going to get. So I've never done that little thing with figuring out what the temperature is by the sound of the cicadas and the intervals between them getting really loud and quietening down. But I'm gonna have to do that and let y'all know if it really works. Oh my goodness, y'all, I just found a treasure right here by the house growing. Look at this. It is a Penta growing out of a crack in the ground next to the house. And here's something I didn't know, because I don't think I've ever had one grow from seed here before. So wow, this had to have grown from seed. Is that not amazing? There are treasures everywhere. I mean, I'm not surprised by this Ruellia, because Ruellia does grow like crazy from seed. But here it is. I have a little secret garden back here behind the passion flower vine. And this, of course, I'm not surprised by this either, because this is that coral nymph salvia. It grows everywhere. But it's so cool, man. When I was a little kid, this is where I could spend hours, just back here behind the fence, hiding and laughing when people tried to find me. It is kind of naughty, but you know, I would have been back here in this little tunnel. I'll turn and show you. right here behind the fence. This is where I would have spent hours until I got eaten by mosquitoes. Look at that. That is a zebra caterpillar. It's going to turn into an American, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, American noctuid moth. Noctuid moth. So it's eating my kale. It's been, look, there's a teeny tiny one right there. Yeah, my kale has been decimated by these caterpillars. But you know what? I'm fine with it. I was about to rip this out anyway. I'm laughing to myself because I was just reminded of the title of a book, of a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon book called There's Treasure Everywhere. And they're just digging in the ground. And man, I can hardly take 2 steps without finding something incredible in here. If I just look close enough, there's just so much treasure in this little area right here. It is so amazing. Another gorgeous dahlia bloom. And here's a bud that will burst. Treasure, y'all. Here's a close-up of that coleus that just gets massive. And at the moment I can't think of the name of it, but I took cuttings from it and grew a bunch of it, so it's there. And you know, last year I had 2 of them in a pot and they grew 5 feet wide. I think this one, of course, it probably would have gotten bigger if it didn't get overgrown. I'm really excited about this little coneflower right here because I threw seeds out, a bunch of different kinds of seeds before anything was growing, and one of these grew and then it got kind of eaten by something. And I'll just to give you an example of where it is. It's growing in the yard that's kind of like front yard managed chaos. So I'm thrilled that this is about to bloom because I don't know what color it's going to be. I don't recall what sorts of seeds I threw out, but look, it wants to live, y'all. And there is a darling hummingbird who has come to the Amistad right there. Right there, you see? Just right now, they love Amistad salvia. We are at Battery Worth at Fort Pickens on top. We're at Battery Worth at Fort Pickens, and I'm going to show you why lantana is so bad. There is lantana growing all over the place, and it's from birds having eaten the berries and then dropped them all over the place. This is not native. This is an invasive species, this pink lantana right here. But look at this on the Battery. Can't keep plants down, they're gonna grow. At Battery Worth, nature finds a way. It's growing up out of this tar. I'm so surprised to have a giant swallowtail butterfly emerge today because, oops, because, well, there he goes. Flying straight up into the air. You see it? It's going to a tree. The 2 chrysalises that I had on a stick have emerged, and now the only one that's left is attached to the container. But I was so surprised that this one emerged because it's been way past 2 weeks. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. I wish that I could be out here all day today. It is so awesome, but it's supposed to rain. So I might not get a chance to get out here again for the rest of the day. But because I'm about to go to church and I got to stop this. And y'all, I'm just so excited about what's happening in the garden, and I hope y'all are having some awesome adventures and finding a bunch of amazing creatures and abundance in your yards and in your gardens and with what you've planted and maybe what you haven't planted. But y'all have a wonderful week. I can't wait to hear what y'all are doing. God bless y'all. Let's play outside.